Hey everyone, Ekman here with another video, and we're on the cusp of the release of SB01 for the Fusion World card game. And as part of that, I do want to have this kind of day one tier list. This is a tier list with mostly opinions and just my thoughts going into the meta. This is nothing super solidified, and this is going to be pretty volatile as well. But I want to kind of just go over my thoughts going into this meta. So if you guys think that I got anything right or anything wrong, please let me know. But this is just something that these are my thoughts just going into the meta. So again, this could be pretty wrong, and I'm okay with that. Just tell me, just be civil. Just don't tell me I'm dumb. All right, I can't handle it. Just tell me like maybe you should reconsider this leader. That's probably the better way to do it. But we do have 3 new leaders, a lot of new support for a lot of things. It's also kind of like my first tier list since Shallot and Giblet came out, since I didn't really make one, which is kind of how it was like the end of the FBO6 format, and then we had the restriction list that won't happen until actually this set comes out. It is like a weird time, so we just didn't make a tier list for that one. But again, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We make a lot of Fusion World content, and I don't want you guys to miss it. And then also, if you guys want any deck lists or anything else, make sure to check out my website, Eggman Events, which has my current builds into the SBO1 meta, and we're going to continue to update that with more of that and events and whatnot. So we're going to start off with kind of like the new leaders, and also kind of like leaders that got kind of direct support from this one, and then just kind of go from there. So we're going to start off with some red Aandroids, and we've got like the Cell and also kind of Aandroidd 18, since it did get a lot of like it's also just a red Aandroidd leader, so you can use either of one of these for this deck. It's pretty much like, do you give something like one of your battle cards the plus 20k, or do you give the leader itself? So generally speaking, I do think that like I really don't know where to put these tiers for this one. We've got tier 1, so this is what I expect to top all events and then win most of them. Tier 1.5 is top most events and win some of them. Tier 2 is top sometimes, and like I would be pretty surprised to see if it wins an event. And then tier 3 is I could see it top, but like not. And I'd be like incredibly surprised. I wouldn't expect any of these decks to win a format. So, but with Red Cell, with it being kind of like one of our better ways to remove, I think that's good. I also think like Aandroidd 18 could be in a good spot for specifically using its field card against yellow, which we'll talk about that color in a minute. But I'm going to probably put these in tier 2. That's probably where I'm going to put these for right now. I really do like Cell, and I do want to do some more testing with it, but I think compared to like everything else that's going on, like the amount of pressure this deck is good. But I also think there's going to be like a lot of barrier cards that can't really interact with stuff, so that can be kind of detrimental for kind of like half the identities of these cards. So I'm going to put it in tier 2. I could also like kind of see Aandroidd 18 being like a little bit better than Cell, so maybe I'll just kind of sneak it there. But that's kind of where even though like I really like this deck, and I'm probably going to be playing a lot of it, that's kind of where I'm going to put it. Next up, we've got tier 1.5, and I'm going to put Son Goku Childhood for that one. Sorry, I think I said that backwards. We're going to put Son Goku in tier 1.5. So I do think a lot of the support that it got was great. It kind of offered a lot more consistency. Pretty much like it was like, I hope I found Cross Arm Dive in the Jackie Chun, and if I didn't, I'm like behind by quite a lot. But now we have a lot of alternative plays. I think this deck is great. A lot of support for it specifically, and it has like a really cool like combo like kind of play style. So we're going to put that tier 1.5 for right now. Next up, we've got Vegeta, and I'm going to put it this one. I'm not really sure that much on how good this deck is going to be. So I think that it's probably going to be in like the tier 2. I might bump this up throughout the video, but the fact that it is like good, I feel like it's a more like a less consistent version of Giblet. I think Giblet is like the stronger deck overall, if I'm being super honest. So I could like bump it up to tier 1.5. I might change this. This one I might change depending on how we're feeling with the rest of this format, but we're going to put that there. Piccolo, I'm going to put in like the tier 3, could top. This one, generally speaking, like this tier 3 is kind of in a spot where I'm like, I haven't really done a lot of like testing with it. It's either going to be like really good or really bad in these scenarios, right? So I think like it's kind of like an experimental tier, so we're going to put that for Piccolo. Next up, we've got Giblet, which I think Giblet's still going to be like one of the better decks in this game. I might put it, I think tier 1 was probably, we'll put it in tier 1. Why not? I think that this deck is like really good at like being aggressive. It's really flexible in its plays. Like it has like some really good like double strike pressure for the end of the game too. I think like there is like a bit of an issue where like if yellow ends up being just really good, which we're just going to skip to it. I think yellow is just like in a really good spot. Like I unironically, like all 3 of these leaders, one of these is going to be the better leader generically, right? And if I was to be guessing, I'd probably put in like this order. something like this. But I'm not like hard sold for that either. But I think that this is a deck that yellow just got a lot of support. I think the Bobbity that we get from the set is great. There's just so much like stuff you can prevent their interaction with, and it's either going to be like either we're overstating it, which I hope we are, because it seems like it's going to be very dumb, where barrier blocker's never really been a thing in this game, and it seems really obnoxious, especially if we have it with the 3-drop boo that just lets you save it for one card out of hand, which seems kind of outrageous. So we've got that here. All right, next up we've got, and then to kind of wrap out the kind of like newer leaders and support, we've got Bulma and Shallot. Shallot is like one of my favorite leaders in this game right now. I know that it's kind of like mildly linear, and I do think that it has like potentially a bad matchup into yellow where they can just answer your 6-cost bodies by stunning them. But I think Shallot is fine, and I think it's a great card. Like it's just been a lot of fun to honestly play this deck, so I've been enjoying it quite a bit. And then Bulma, I don't really know where to put Bulma, to be honest. I think that the deck is really cool too. The fact that you do just get like some of this extra pressure. One less leader swing though, I think is going to be very expensive, but you do get to restand some of your cards too. So I really don't know where I'm going to put this. I'm going to put it in tier 2 probably. This might be putting it a little bit lower than where it deserves, and I might change this at the end of this video, but we're going to leave that there in tier 2. So next up we just kind of have additional leaders by color. If you guys didn't notice already, I put a bunch of leaders in unlikely that I just we're not very confident with in this meta in general. So we're going to leave these here and just kind of sort through the rest real quick. So Jiren, I think Jiren is just still like generically like one of the better red decks in the game right now. So I'm just going to put it here. Just the fact that its game plan is really, really nice. You still kind of have like 4-drop Jiren still is strong, and the fact that it just demands that they have 4-drop Frieza, and if you don't, you just get really, really punished as like any of these yellow Majin decks. So I think that's pretty understood. Beerus, I think, is probably in the tier 3 where it could top, but it's going to have a bit of an issue doing so. Again, like same kind of thing as like Aandroidd 18 and Cell. If there's like a lot of decks that just have barrier, your entire identity is being able to remove cards on your opponent's board, and if you're not able to do that, like you lose a lot of the power of what this deck's trying to do. So if you're playing against like strict like you can get like starved out, you can have like no interaction. I think Beerus is probably in a tough spot. We also have like Son Goku, Daima. I think like both these Daima leaders are fine. We might see some of these top every once in a while. I do think that like Glorio, like being able to have like these big attacks twice per turn, I think could be really strong. So I think that's there. We've got Vegeta, which I think I'm going to probably put this in tier 3. Blue's in like kind of a weird spot, I think, right now. Vegeta hasn't really been like topping a lot or even like used a lot, but I do think it's kind of still good. But we have like these other blue decks of like Son Goku and Vegeta Mini. I think both these decks are still strong for what they are. Even without Pilaf, they do have a lot of ways to get recursion and just get a lot of card draw. Vegeta Mini Daima was like probably one of the worst blue decks to take advantage of Pilaf too, because there are just a lot of situations where you just drew too many cards to be able to use the card properly. And then also Son Goku, we still have Videl, which we can still loop to find your pieces. It's a little bit more expensive and clunky, but it's still very good. So I think both these decks are going to be pretty viable moving forward. And then I'll put Vegito in tier 2. I think the deck's fine. It didn't like really rely on Pilaf either, but it did really like it benefited from the fact that like half your deck was in your drop by like turn 3. And so because of that, like you got a lot of advantage. But and I also think like I think if you want to be successful in this meta, you are better off with a lot of smaller attacks than like big ones like this one can produce, which can be really tough for those metas. So for tier 3, we're going to put the Goku Black as well. I'll probably put Zamasu in tier 2. I just feel like it might get outvalued in the late game, but there it is. Broly and also Aandroidd 1718. I think both these decks are going to be amazing still. Broly might have some issues with yellow specifically because they do have some really good ways to answer your big 8-drops and 9-drops by stunning them or preventing them from attacking, but I think they're still good. 1718 is just never the worst deck in the game. Like if you bought this deck a year ago, you are still probably playing it. You're adding like 2 cards of format, and then you're still doing really, really well. So other than that, Son Goku, the other green one, I think this one can be like I'll probably just put it in tier 2. You could probably, I'll put it in tier 3. I don't think this like is really too impactful. I think that the deck is like still like fine, right? Like I think Broly's just like a better version of what you're trying to do though, and can take advantage of the like there are so many other decks that can just take advantage of your secret rare being so generic that you yourself are just like not using it, I think, to full capacity. So I think that's something that's impactful there. All right, we're kind of zooming through this. We don't have that many leaders left. So Frieza, probably tier 3. There is like some like potential for you to be like a really stupid blocker deck with this. All the like the yellow stuff is like really generic, so like you're not really upset about it. We also have like yellow Vegeta here, so this deck, I think like this deck is in a weird spot. So the reason I say so is that like it can take advantage of a lot of the yellow stuff, but like if you're playing like you have like it is expected that Majin is like just a really really tough matchup for this deck because they just invalidate your leader effect for 4 energy every turn. So if you're not playing against Majin, I think like you can be like one of the better like yellow decks to take advantage of all the new yellow cards. Otherwise, you're in like a really tough spot. So it's gonna be kind of weird. What else we got? We got other yellow leads. I think actually Janemba is like in a really good spot. Specifically, I think Vegeta Mini Daima could be in a good spot too. It's just like this deck hasn't done like a lot in this format, but we can take advantage of some of the new cards. We do also then have like 4 of our black leaders left. I don't really know. I think like they all are kind of like in this nebulous tier 2 area, like per usual, right? Like all these leaders are like generically doing the same thing. Like none of them are like in a spot where they are like exclusively like Super Baby 2 has like some kind of specific stuff, but like by and large, all these decks are kind of doing the same thing. They're all just like Son Goku GT decks, and they can take advantage of that card and the value that it gives you. But like after that, you're not doing that much. So I don't know. I think like maybe like the best thing is like if you can establish 6-drop Gogeta in any of these decks, you can prevent Babidis from restanding a card and giving it barrier blocker. But they can also just like not attack with it and then still just give it blocker. Sorry, it only gives blocker and restands. It doesn't give barrier, but there are boos that you can already have barrier with for that. So my apologies for that. But yeah, so this is the fact that they can just like not attack with the card and then they still have a blocker with barrier, which is really hard for us to interact with. But I can still like see like Gogeta 6-drop being well used. You can still use it in Shallot though, so like I think that's part of the selling point for Shallot is that it is just like a super strong deck without Son Goku GT and can take advantage of a lot without it. So I think that's really it. If I'm being honest, these are pretty much all the leaders in the game right now. We can. I know a lot of people are skipping to this part of the video, so I do just kind of want to go down it real quick. So again, tier 1, these are decks that I think will top all or win most. It's pretty clear to I think me and a lot of others that yellow is going to be very strong into this SB01 format. I think that all 3 of these leaders are going to be good, but I don't know which one I would say is going to be the best outright. My money is on Majin Buu Evil, if I'm being honest, just because you also have this really nice interaction where if you have your 2-drop Babidi and your 3-drop Buu, you block with a 3-drop Buu, it gets KO'd, and then you trigger your leader effect, so you get to untap 1 energy, and then you can use Results of Training. Like that seems like a really good combo and a way to generate value for this deck. You don't have as much value on like the front side because especially with Babidi getting on like the aggressive side because Babidi is like what it is, but you can also do like some silly things where like you can have like 3-drop Majin Buu out with barrier. You can like attack with it. You play Majin Buu Kid, attack, KO the Majin Buu. You get to you can still restand. It comes out rested, and then you still get to restand it with Babidi at the end of the turn. So all that seems just really good. So that's the one I would expect to be on the stronger side. But again, I think one of these 3 are going to be one of the best decks in the game. I think Giblet is still very good for what it is, and so it's going to be played a lot. I do think it's likely going to be better than Vegeta, so we're going to put that there. I also think that Son Goku Childhood could be in the spot, so going down to tier 1.5. This is definitely one of the decks that can like leap up, I think, in my mind, so we're going to put it here. Generally speaking, Vegeta might be better than Giblet, but I haven't like I feel like Giblet's just like more consistent for what it does, and this doesn't like kind of revolve around like finding a 2-drop field extra. So that's something that's impactful. I think blue is still like in an okay spot with Son Goku and Vegeta Mini, but they're obviously not as strong as they used to be. Vegeta would be really good with yellow if they didn't tap out all your energy. I think the 4-drop Majin Buu probably should have just like tapped 2 energy instead of all energy, just so you could still like at least play around it a little bit as Vegeta instead of just like no counterplay at all. Like there's literally nothing you can do, right? It's just like strictly you like even like 6-drop Gogeta, right, to prevent the restand. That's fine. You just don't tap as much energy. energy, so you still have energy open defensively. Vegeta just has like nothing they can do about it, so there's that. Also, I would say that I might be like lower rating the Bulma, Aandroidd 18, and Cell, but strictly speaking, I don't feel like they are as broken as these other decks. I think like the big double strike from Bulma could be good, but also I think that this is probably the weakest format for double strike to exist if there are going to be these decks that just have these, you know, uninteractable blockers. So we'll see if that's true. I do think red has a bit of an issue too, where a lot of its identity is like interacting with your opponent's board, and if a lot of cards they have barrier, you're going to have a hard time to do so. And then kind of just the rest of it from here. So generally speaking, you know, this is, you know, very volatile. If you guys have different opinions, please let me know. Just be a little bit civil with it is all I ask. I think this is going to be an interesting format, and honestly, I hope I'm wrong for some of this, because otherwise, I think it could be just a very, you know, very polarizing matchup without, you know, much counters to what we expect to be a very yellow meta. So that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you guys are thinking. If you guys are doing any box or packs openings, let me know what you get with it as well. We're also going to be doing a live stream tomorrow as this video comes out. So on Friday, we're going to be doing some giblet testing and also probably getting some pack openings as long as we get some boxes. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.